It's the trade deadline, and we talked last about trading Tobias Harris to 2 or 3 teams. After looking into another potential Magic trade, I just don't think there's anything that we can really do to work out the salaries without taking key rotation players from them. And for the Magic, Tobias Harris is not worth giving up key rotation pieces. They could find a different deal probably. That would be better for them. Then there's the other 2 deals that we talked about before, the Pistons and the Jazz deal. I won't go over them again in depth quite like I did last time, but as you can guess, I'm definitely leaning towards the Jazz trade. It complements Simmons better, and it's going to help out our depth, and we're absolutely getting the most out of a Harris deal in the Jazz trade. We get Schroeder, who is an offensive punch, who I think could work very well with Buddy and Simmons. He also may provide a pretty decent closer instead of Mike Conley, even if he is worse defensively. Then we get 2 3-and-D wings in Bogdanovic and Ingles, although Ingles likely won't play. Either way, it seems like a superior trade in every way to the Pistons one, but we have to see if they agree. And as said with the Pistons trade, it's nothing more than a salary dump, and there's not a whole lot to say about the deal. So now that we're done talking about them, let's go and see if we can get them done. I think first we'll see if the Jazz are up for a deal, considering it's the much better one. I offered them the deal that we discussed last episode, and they decided to sit on it for a little bit, which is understandable. After some consideration, they came back to me with a counteroffer. The deal is exactly the same, except they wanted Korkmaz in addition to the rest of the stuff to help shore up their small forward rotation. After thinking about it for like 0.3 seconds, I agreed to the deal. Despite Tobias's offensive production for us this year, I think it's better that we got off his contract. Marvin Bagley is due for an extension, and we already have Ben Simmons on the max. Buddy Hield and Harrison Barnes are also making $20+ million a year, so we're already kind of strapped for cash at the moment. I think it was worth giving up those couple of young guys, considering they weren't even in the rotation really, except for Korkmaz, who was getting some minutes here or there. Besides, this deal made us way better defensively. Tobias was one of the worst defenders in the league, and we got a decent defender in Bogdanovic to take his place in the starting lineup. We also got an actual backup point guard in Schroeder, who I'm actually very eager to insert into the lineup. We'll talk more on that later. With him and Buddy, we get to have a serious offensive punch off the bench, and I guess this is the perfect time to go into rotations. They changed pretty significantly, and outside of the fourth quarter for Ben, nobody is playing a full quarter like they used to. Simmons is also not playing any point guard anymore, so unless I see fit, he'll basically be a full-time power forward, but he won't be used exclusively like one, obviously. He'll still be handling the ball and things like that, but he'll be basically guarding power forwards and small forwards and things like that. Halfway through the first, I've got Schroeder and Buddy coming in to play with Ben and Bagley, which has the potential to be a disaster defensively, but I think the offense has some serious potential to close out the quarter. Then they'll get some run with the second unit, which outside of Thibault is just asking to get scored on, but it has plenty of shooting until a more defensive-oriented lineup comes in towards the end of the second quarter. Also, I lied about nobody playing full quarter. Buddy Hield is playing more than that, considering he's playing from the start of the third a little bit into the fourth. I figured since he isn't closing, it would be okay playing him that many minutes. And then outside of that, there really isn't that much to mention. Schroeder is closing in place of Mike Conley, and the minutes are very evenly distributed in the guard and wing positions, considering we don't really have someone who should be playing 30+ minutes. Now, you may notice this little section in the middle where, you got like Olynyk, Harrison Barnes, Matisse Thybulle, Buddy Hield, and Dennis Schroeder. That has the potential to probably be one of the worst defensive lineups in the league, because I'm not sure that Buddy Hield and Dennis Schroeder can contain enough perimeter penetration, and if the guys on the perimeter get past them, then it's over, because Kelly Olynyk's not guarding anybody in the post. But outside of that, I think the rotations are pretty solid, and we can adjust things as we go, because that's what we do here. But I think this move definitely makes us a lot better. And if Bagley can get a 3-point shot, then we should have tons of shooting around Ben Simmons, which was the goal since the start. We've got plenty of ball handlers, multi-positional defenders, playmakers. We've got a very well-constructed team here. And that's it. I know it's a pretty short video, but you know, there's not really a whole lot of talking about, so I don't want to stretch it with a bunch of BS. That's it, and it feels kind of weird saying it. I'm not sure if I'll make this a regular thing, but if you like the series, like the video, subscribe. Unless you don't feel like it, that's cool. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. Just trying to keep the channel growing, trying to keep the content coming to you guys. So I'll catch y'all in the next one. You guys have a good one.